Nice. All good. All good. All right. Well, my name is Deirdre Fitzpatrick. I'm going to be leading this next panel. If you live local, I work on the Case Area Morning News. But then my other fun thing that I do in my spare time is I'm on the Sacramento Running Association board. So I'm part of the group that helps put on CIM. So this is our favorite Sunday of the year. Duh. It's amazing. And the good news I have for you is that the weather tomorrow is going to be absolutely perfect. I mean, it doesn't get any better. So it'll be just a really nice, I think, comfortable start. And it'll probably be a little bit warmer. High of 65 is what's expected tomorrow. So probably by about 10, 11 is when you'll start noticing a little bit more warmth. Overall, it's dry, it's clear. Still got those cool colors of the trees in Sacramento. Today is called Run Together, Building Community. So we have three amazing activists who are joining us today to talk about some groups they either founded or part of the leadership part of it. And we're talking a little bit about how do you find your community, especially since COVID. Running groups have been an amazing way for people to go back out and meet some new friends. And sometimes they meet friends and become partners. So we never hear about that happen, which is pretty darn cool. So we're talking a little bit about how to find those groups, and then if you can't find a group that meets what you're looking for, we're talking about how to start that group too. So I want to introduce our panel. We have Solle, who's joining us today from New York City, from FRNY LGBT Pride Run. He's the race director for that. We'll talk to him in just a moment. Dalia Ramirez-Robles, she is local, and she is founder. She's very popular, number one. Founder of Ramirez-Sacramento, it's a 11 run walk club. And then Menez from ASIC, she's the director of and Karen's joining us from Austin. So Karen, since you're new to the panel today, because we did this yesterday, I want to start a little bit with you and talk a little bit about your job. I've got a really awesome bio here, so I'm going to read to you what's on her bio. Karen is the Director of Communications for ASICS America, overseeing all facets of communication across the country. She does product launches, she does crisis communications, hopefully not too many of those. I mean, for the most part, runners are pretty good, right? And then she also works on some of those brand sponsorships and ambassadorships. Like, how do you become an ambassador for a running company? You're going to find that out today. She has activated some of the largest local events like the World Athletic Championships and Olympics for ASICS, all while bringing the ASICS Sound Mind, Sound Body to life. She works with lots of road clubs and Sound Mind, Sound Body ambassadors, as I mentioned, who help champion movement and obviously spread all the things that ASICS represents. Did I cover it all?
I mean, I'm tired just hearing all that, but I think
you should. Yeah. So how long have you been doing this job?
So I've been with the brand for the last 7 years, and prior to that, I've always worked in sports communications for the last 21 years, which also seems impossible.
I know. I'm kind of at that point in my career too. So what drew you to working with ASICS and running system?
So I've always been a runner, and I think that's how a lot of the stories start for people who work at ASICS. I think it makes it easier to be a part of the brand because runners, I think, are a little bit of a different crop in some ways. Waking up at 5 in the morning, meeting your friends in dark parking lots to go on long runs in all conditions.
So, which are the good porta potties? Which are the bad ones?
Yes, all of it. So I just feel very fortunate to work in a job where I can combine the things I love and also have the opportunity to test out footwear on a regular basis. The amount of FedEx that comes into my house, my husband's like, more shoes, and I'm like, I have to try them. We keep evolving. So it really is a great industry to be a part of. I personally run in a running club, and I'll be doing my 9th marathon this weekend.
That's fantastic. And Karen's running with us tomorrow. How about that? So let's talk a little bit about what you guys have noticed in your industry since COVID. Because there's a great article, and you and I happened to read the same article about the rise of different running clubs in the last couple of years. It's the number one way that people are meeting other people right now because post-COVID, you're a little off. And all of a sudden, people are finding these running clubs all over the country as a way, sometimes to meet partner, a lot of times actually, but also just a way to get out there and connections in general. And you guys are seeing this too all over the country.
And it's why we want to be involved with running clubs. We sponsor about 5 or 6 different brand ambassadors. We've been with for the last 5 years, and they're all people who are in their community using running to champion something good ultimately. So we're very involved at that level, and we also sponsor about 6 or 7 different running clubs across the U.S. And I think as people have evolved relationship with the media they consume, where they get their information, and what's going to hold them accountable. We've seen similar shifts in running, where back in the day we might have been like, let's pitch the New York Times to get an article, and everyone will know that our shoe is Gucci. Then it was the world of influencers kind of being that filter. Now it's our WhatsApp group where I'm getting questions about the drop of the new shoe and the weight, and it's like everybody is so into it, and they're getting that influence from the other people in their clubs. So I think it's been a beautiful thing, just peer to peer. Like, I mean, Sarah was in the crowd. We call her our resident influencer because anything she talks about on a run, all of us instantly have in our hands on the cart. So it's one of those things where we're getting that information from the people we're with, hours and miles over the course of the week. So
what you're talking about back in the day, we just called it word of mouth, right?
or you really hope you could pitch a story and land it in a big publication.
Yeah, I forgot to tell you when I introduced myself to you, but that's what I do today. TV reporter. And that is one of the top ways that we find stories these days. Is somebody just sending you a note somewhere. A lot of times it's an Instagram message, sometimes it's an email, just letting you know about something like that. It's interesting, even for a big company like Menez, it's still so powerful.
It's like our consumers are the ones showing up, and if you don't have good product, people won't buy it. So it's very easy if something's going to work or not work, and you just have to be authentic. And we also align with clubs that support the mission and the vision of the brand, which is sound mind, sound body. So everything has to align for us to work together.
So with all the clubs that you're exposed to and brand ambassadors, learning about the groups that are out there, what are the qualities of those clubs that make them strong and help them continue? Because a lot of people start things. I mean, raise your hand if you started something and it's gone like 3 days later. What are the qualities of keeping some of them?
I think it comes from the leadership, ultimately, the people who are committed to show up, whether they get one person there and run with them or have 400 people who they're responsible for, and that consistency over the course of time. Because you also, it's like all of us have a finite amount of spare time, so you want to make sure that this is working. And I think that people who are authentically in this space, they're there because they want to bring people together and steal something from the Bachelor, like for all the right reasons. Those are the ones that will continue to thrive. And you see this, like, we were joking earlier that, it's like run clubs are the new dating app, but 20 years ago, my dad and his wife met in their running club, and they are still together. And it's a beautiful thing that even 20 years ago, people were using it for connection. And I think the strong connections of the people you're with are what get you to get up at 4:10 in the morning and show up.
Yeah, because you don't want to let them down, right? How do people become brand ambassadors for companies like Menez?
Well,
I mean, it seems like a really sweet thing.
and we have a lot of people who want to be brand ambassadors, but I think it would dilute what we're doing if we were just like, everybody can be a brand ambassador. So we really only have about 4 or 5 that we work with at that level. And like Lance from We Run 313 in Detroit is an excellent example. He's been with our brand for the last 4 years. Sponsor him to, be part of how we even build our run club strategy. And last week he was featured in our global ad campaigns for Nova Class 5. So we have deep relationships with the people we work with because it's so important to help elevate their stories and their content.
Not looking for you to put, numbers on it, but how valuable are those ambassadors to what you do in terms of moving product and getting excitement going?
They're valued on so many levels because we also do a lot within the women's space. So the female brand ambassadors that we work with, like they're holding different focus groups. They're part of our Move Her Money campaign. So it's not just like try this pair of shoes, tell your followers and you like them, and make the people in your run club buy them. Like our shoes might not be for everyone, and that's okay. Like I never try to push them on people in our own club because if they get an injury because of something that's not right, I'm responsible, right? So I think it's just really important that all of these different voices also have some strong meaning behind it. Like Fear is a group that looks to bring together like people from all different parts of Milwaukee and one of the most segregated communities. And Tania, what she's focused on there is just making running a safe place for everyone. And again, for the last 4 years, we were like, she's worked with other brands that came and went. And we're like, no, we're committed to working together to help a lot of people a better running community. It's very cool.
All right, well, thanks for coming in today. We appreciate it. So we're going to go through our panelists, and then I know you guys have questions. So after we hear from everyone, happy to open it up for questions. Dalia's over here at my left, and Dalia is the co-founder of Sacramento. It's a Latino-led walking and running club. And the goal is to foster a safe and inclusive outdoor space for people of all backgrounds, abilities, and bodies. And she's very passionate about how the environment around you shapes your life. Right now, she's pursuing a degree in urban planning to work on more equitable communities. Dalia's like involved in everything, I tell you. That's what I hear from people who know you well. When did you come up with the idea for Paremos, and what did you not find when you went looking for a group that you thought, I think I need to be the one who starts this?
Yeah. Well, a little bit of my backstory is I started running in 2019, and then I moved to Sacramento at the end of 2020. So it was lockdown, and it was cold, and it was dark, and I was all by myself. I knew nobody. So I would just run by myself. Like in my first week here, I just ran a 10-mile loop in the city, and that's how I got acquainted. The city was empty. So then 2021, I started training with Fleet Feet, the Fleet Feet training program, because that's all that was available. None of the clubs were meeting. I had heard about the existence of clubs, but it was still COVID times. And yeah, when things started opening up, Fleet Feet was hosting Fleet Feet Nationwide was hosting a Hispanic Heritage 5K in partnership with Latinos Run, which is a national run club. And Fleet Feet invited me to help support the event. And this is like super new. I was an introvert back then, if you don't believe it. I really was. When I saw all of these Latinos show up, and then I'm in this space, and I mentioned it yesterday, that felt like a quinceañera. Like all the primos were here, people that sound like me, that like speaking different types of Spanish, and we had like quinceañera music playing, and I was like, I want this so bad. I want this so bad. And we did not have a local chapter of Latinos Run here, and then so I just started looking into, well, how can we bring that club here? And it was like months of trying to figure that out, and then finally decided, you know what, we'll just start our own like mission-oriented running and walking group.
Who was we? Were there a couple of you that said we can do this together?
So at first it was just me trying to figure it out, and then working with a former marketing director for Fleet Feet, and then I was just like messaging people on Instagram and on Facebook Messenger and all this stuff, and then I came across my co-founder Javier, and he was running with Black Men Run Sacramento, so he would run with them, and then we got introduced, like, hey, you're someone who's trying to get this Latino running group off the ground. We have a Latino who runs with us, and then so we got connected, and then
and so flash forward, not that long. How many members do you have, and how big is this group got? Just ballpark.
Well, our group chat, we use Halo. I think we have almost 200 people on the group chat, similar to like WhatsApp. But I think on Mondays is our main running night, and I think we have an average of like 50 people come out on Mondays.
Great. Mm-hmm. That's really cool. And so for this group, what is having a group that has a real focus on Latinos bring that maybe these other groups are going to? What is different about it?
Yeah, I think that, there is a focus on Latinos, because I'm Latina, and I'm just like trying to get people around me that I can speak Spanglish with, because it's just it's easier. But I think I
shared experience.
Yeah, shared experience, and also
shared
just
culture.
Yeah, and I really do want to foster like multicultural spaces where, sometimes we get into a space and no one looks like us, right? And in the past, it's been like some groups are like monocultured, monolingual, tall, lean, fast, get it, good for you. I'm not there, and so it'd be cool to just have a mix of everybody, every body type, every pace, every experience level, every different kinds of language. Whenever the first cheer zone that I that I hosted for CIM, I had a mix of like there was like Latino reggaeton, but then Bhangra, which is like Indian music, and that I love, and so it's like there's so many of us that are not represented so much, and I want like my culture to be represented, but then also other people's. Like I want to hear more see more Filipino people and Filipino food. I think we were talking about like lumpia. Someone at a shakeout run was talking about they do like a lumpia mile. I want some lumpia when I'm running, right? But it's like no, we stick to like the bananas and the what else, tangerines, and it's like I want some lumpia, I want some birria, I want So I think that's just what I'm trying to accomplish. Maybe I'm a little selfish.
So how much time does it take you to do this? You have a job, you're going to school, you got other things you got to do. How much time goes into being an organizer and really the communicator for all of this?
I was telling Jay yesterday that I've leaned into mediocrity and being okay with just doing enough and not being like, this is my vision for the club, this is my mission, my vision for community, and this is my capacity, and this is my time. I just mix it all together, and I hope for the best. Feel like I'm constantly checking Instagram and trying to post something, and then trying to coordinating with Fleet Feet. I